Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. I have your name. All right, we are ready to go. Thanks. This is the Fallbrook Regional Health District Facility Committee meeting being called to order. And I will call on Raquel is with us virtually, but since I'm in the room, I'll go ahead and do the roll call. Okay. Director Jeffries, Director Mraz, you, yes, yeah. Do we have any public comment cards? We have no public comment cards. I received nothing via email, and unless Roy has a question. Thank you so much. On to our discussion items. The discussion items include pollination garden at Min Brandon location, ongoing completed projects. Would you like to brief us on each of these? Okay, so about a year and a half ago, the Mission Resource Conservation District had an opportunity to apply for grant funding to help put pollination gardens throughout the community. The district is partnering with them on that to put a pollination garden on the south side of Brandon, which is essentially no man's land. It's not a landscaped area that is accessible. It's ideal for that protected style of pollination garden. So we will be meeting with them on Monday to discuss that particular space. They also received some additional support for us to be able to put out some pollination garden at the Mission property. The original conversation is from the street side, right at the fence, right up to the old multi-purpose church buildings. That space right there is really, again, ideal for pollination because you don't have foot traffic. It's not really accessible, and it'll be low water, right? Which is always a huge benefit, but it's also lovely and it will fit with our seasonal needs.
Yes.
So,
and refresh my memory, it's their grant money that's funding this?
It's their grant money. So we will provide some support into it because obviously the landscaping, the irrigation, all of that are funds that we would have put into that space anyway.
Right.
But the whole design and a lot of the plant costs come from their grant.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, on to B, education building, classrooms 1 and 4.
So these are continuing items per our last meeting. And as we said, we'd go forward, these items would come on and fall off. And so we would report status. So for education building classroom 1, which is the first one when you walk up, and 4, which is on the back side or the east facing part of the building. Okay. So those two now have their HVAC completed. They have their new flooring and new paint completed. Most of the cabinet and sink in room 1 is done. The countertop was damaged when it was delivered to us. So it's being sent back to Home Depot. A new one will come in. Once that's done, that will be done.
Okay.
The other part that isn't on here, and I just got the bid back, is they all have the oldest fashioned fluorescent size 12 fixtures and bulbs, which are not energy efficient. They make that horrible buzz.
Yes.
And they're not an attractive light. So we have a local-ish, more Valley Center than Fallbrook, but electrician who gave me a great quote for $2,500 for both rooms to redo all of the fixtures. That's a good investment in our energy costs as it is. So I'm just waiting to see what kind of scheduling we have on that. That will complete both those rooms, 100%.
And you're taking the before and after pictures.
Yes.
So we can show our community what we're doing.
Yes.
Thank you.
And refresh my memory, when we talk about this opportunity with the light replacement, that's within the given parameters of the budget right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's $2,500, so it does not require, right, gotcha. I just wanted to double check. Thank you. And how about the windows and blinds.
So the windows, per our last meeting, it was approved to purchase those retrofit windows. Those have been ordered. We are waiting for those. I think she said the 23rd they'll be delivered.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on an actual installation date for that. Once those are in, then we can get an estimate for the blinds for those rooms. We'll get an estimate for blinds for the new offices and those 2 rooms. Because the other rooms aren't upgraded yet, we'll have blinds come back the second time for that.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Well, speaking of the rain, the exterior painting and gutters.
Right, so we had our painter come out. He's working with his vendor to get the right kind of paint because it's metal. I am waiting for his quote. Again, gutters go on afterward, so we're waiting for first and then second on that. So it's in progress, but we're still pending.
Okay. House of Wellness items.
House of Wellness items. So I had our voluntold general contractor walk through the house for the ADA bathroom.
Good.
The ADA bathroom is going to require moving plumbing, potentially a wall, so we're going to have architectural support and a GC, which means we're gonna have to go out to bid for that.
Okay.
So I will work with our volunteer GC to help design the scope for that. And then I will reach out to Jeff to have him put together a bid package for that. After talking with the flooring and the painting and the electric, all of them said, do not do any of the other upgrades until that restroom is addressed, because there's too much that we're gonna mess everything up. So we are talking about potential for some canned lights in a couple of different pieces that would not be affected. But as far as paint and flooring, that has to wait until the restrooms are done.
Yeah, that only makes sense.
Rachel, is the building itself ADA accessible?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay.
Yeah, we'll need to have full accessibility. The front door has a problem because the threshold is a bit too high. So we're gonna need to change a few other things. So when we have our actual walkthrough for the ADA with the architect, we'll have them look at all of that before we go into a full RFP.
And maybe since we're replacing the flooring, that threshold can be dealt with then.
Potentially, it has to do with the whole front door from the concrete forward, but I think that there's a lot of different options. Obviously, there's house that's old, so some of those things are just previous stuff.
Was there also an issue as far as turning into the bathroom? There's like a 90-degree turn right there. I don't know if that's an ADA problem or not.
That is why we're gonna have to have the architect come out and take a look at it.
Okay.
If that is the case, as you're walking and you're gonna make that left turn, as Rory's talking about, into that hall, that wall may have to be pushed back. So there is a small section that was added on. It was probably a previous outside patio. It could be such that if we have to move everything, doors could be shifted out there. We know we have to move plumbing one way or the other. So the whole design of the bathroom will probably have to be redone.
Okay, and after the architectural expertise is applied, will you come back to us in this committee and let us know the projected cost before we move forward?
Well, we won't have a projected cost. The first thing we'll have is an RFP cost for architectural services. Once we have architectural services done, costed, then we can go out and potentially do general contracting. We can get a rough estimate from architect at that point.
Okay, my point is, we all agree and the board agreed that that needs to be ADA compliant, no doubt about it. I would like it to come back here before any because it's gonna be over the. bid.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So
So,
it'll come back to this committee for each step of the process.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, good,
And
thank
do you have a
you.
general contractor in mind?
no, because it'll have to go out to bid, so it'll go out to full,
Okay.
And then we'll have a menu,
hopefully.
hopefully.
Always
Okay.
something.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And these other items, anything else you want us to know? We've
No,
discussed them before.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and replace the dishwasher. That's a pretty standard
Yeah.
retrofit.
Slip it in.
Just haven't done it. The refrigerator is already in place. Some of the kitchen setup, I'll defer to Teresa and her team for that
Yeah,
on the go forward.
okay. And again, we're,
Is that planned to be a commercial kitchen there?
No,
Okay,
it's a hospitality kitchen.
yeah. It's educational in nature and to support, for example, when our lifestyle change diabetes program is in there, they'll have some educational workshops and things, so that space will be more than sufficient for that, but it's not a true commercial by any scope.
Right. Thanks for that. Check in there, Roy, appreciate it. Okay, and then the exterior,
Pending the bid from the painter to see what that looks like, hopefully that will come in under our threshold, I think it will. So once that bid comes in, we'll look at that, see if that's reasonable, see if we need to put it out to a wider. Same thing with the gutters that go with that.
and is the painter for this the same as the painter for the
Yes,
office? Okay.
yeah, it's been the same one
classroom.
we've been using, he's been giving us really fair rates.
Mhm.
And he's completely accountable and very quick and easy to work
I have
with.
no problem. I
Yeah.
do have a question about economy of his attention. Is there any merit to looking at the metal overhang for that hospitality area outside where we've had some events?
He's giving me a bid for both.
Very good.
Yes.
We usually get a better deal if we
Absolutely.
do all the jobs
Well,
together.
especially since they're both steel.
Yeah,
And they have to have the
that's-
same kind
yeah.
of, and they're close enough together, we wanna make sure that they don't, have the wrong
Look odd.
colors. and
Yeah,
things.
Okay, and will the backyard landscape, will we have the architect help us with that AD compliant part too? Okay, so that'll become part of that bid process. Okay, and it'll come back to us.
Yep.
All right, and then we're beginning the preparation for the parking lot pavement project, having been there this morning. I'm looking forward to that. The water was sheeting down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And that actually is doing exactly what it's supposed to when it sheets like
Yeah.
that. The problem is, once it hits those gated areas, then it starts to pool and be a
Mhm.
problem. So Rob Holmes, who was the consultant who's helped us with our sidewalk project
right,
and the parking lot here, remember, he's the
Yes.
one who comes from special district world,
right.
knows how to help us create the scope. So Jeff got me his contract just yesterday. So Rob and I have both signed that. That is basically just time.
Yeah.
It's not a big investment. Once that's in place, he will start, using the preliminary site plan we have from Taylor and some of the others as far as size and such. He'll start, helping us draft up the scope so that then Jeff can finish the bid package for that.
Mhm.
Then we'll go ahead and post that out and start that process. I am also, while we're going through that, I've contacted at least one solar carport company
Mhm.
to see if we can get them to come out and give a walkthrough and say, if you're gonna do a parking lot and you hope to bring these items in later,
Mhm.
here's the kind of infrastructure we would need now.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna try and look at that since we're not gonna be doing them in tandem. If we don't ever have to tear up the parking lot a second time,
Be better.
so I'm gonna see what pieces we may have to put in if feasible.
So that's a good hedge on for our future energy costs. I will say, I was at the high school district board meeting on Monday and they had an ill-fated first try at their solar that had to be corrected, and the new firm came out and I was very impressed with their logical thinking. The reason why I'm mentioning it is the materials and supplies for solar installation are right now. So what's gonna happen for them is the visual, what you see visually for solar is gonna go up and the infrastructure in, but the mechanics of it may not come for another 6 months. So they'll be ready to receive
Right.
the mechanical items. But the energy flow won't go for a while, so we may run into the same situation on that. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, we're 6 months before that is even potentially part of the
But I
conversation.
do like the fact that you're thinking about it from a systems approach, that we don't want to dig up the parking lot to
Right.
do, if we choose to do solar, which we have to discuss and see what we're thinking.
Right, right.
Okay, before we go to board member comments and future agenda items, do you have anything we need to know about facilities wise? It appeared the health and wellness center was dry as a bone because I was there on it.
Yeah, we have a very good landscaper, and I actually called them this morning because we were about to have
I saw them out there.
the sidewalk to go to the back side of the
Yes.
education building was about to spill over.
Yeah.
And so I called them. I cleared some of the drains, but I couldn't find, I didn't know where they were.
Yeah,
So they came out and did everything, but they've been really wonderful. And so
Yeah.
the good news is I know all the different points.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So-
LDC has done a tremendous job on really shoring up and keeping drains that Roy will remember we had to uncover and fix several of them. What is it? Was that 2 years ago now, I think? Yeah, had to find them and fix them, and since then, LDC has done a good job of really maintaining and making sure that those don't get lost again.
Now, if I remember right, they came on board with us 3 months ago.
No, it's been
Like
8 months ago.
6 to 8
They were
months ago.
they were our shift.
Yes.
We left one firm and came to the other, so I'm
Absolutely.
glad they're working out.
Yeah,
Parking lot looked great this
Oh, I'm super excited. Remember, we finally finished the landscaping here.
Uh-huh.
So this hillside that has traditionally washed away through our parking lot. We don't have any.
Nothing.
That's
awesome.
beautiful.
So, yeah, LDC. Yeah, so all of the mulch and plants, the straw wattles, everything is there. Again, we're grateful to Mission Resource Conservation District. They came out and provided us with some landscape review and planning, which then they also met with LDC, Judith. They all kumbaya together to make sure that the plan would make sense and be economical and long-standing. And for the last month-ish, been in about a month
Probably
now.
been about a month.
We're seeing that everything is according to plan and working.
Stable. Good. Well,
Stable.
we're getting the weather, so,
Yeah, I mean, who expects this kind of rain?
yeah, well, apparently we should.
Yeah.
All week, we're gonna expect this.
Yeah, yeah, the fact that next week is supposed to be even more rain than this.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so,
For that.
I think that's everything. This building has been stable. We're not hearing anything else at the wellness center. I think we do have to call the roofer back. I noticed that the same trouble spot we've had in this building, I think you're having the same one over there. We'll have him come out after the rains. We are pretty sure that they are areas that from the HVAC pipes that come in need to be resealed, and a lot of times those are hard to find until after.
Get
a
some
rain.
flashing in there or something, whatever.
Something,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, you're good watchdogs, we need that.
Well, luckily with the center being so busy, it's pretty easy
To know,
for anything to be spotted.
Yeah.
This building, it's easy because we're always here, but
when I was at the center today, I think there were over 50 cars there. In that lot,
on this kind of rainy
on
day,
this kind of rainy day,
That's pretty good.
it was great to see, and
Yeah.
about half of them were in the CWC.
CCHW.
CCHW.
I can't remember what it stands for. I just know the acronym is for
Community Health and Wellness Collaborative.
Community
Community
Collaborative.
Collaborative.
That's been even.
Yeah, CCHW. It's all changed names along the way.
Yeah, so Barbara, what say you in terms of facilities? Any future agenda items or comments you want to make today?
No, I'd like to hear Roy's input. And as long as we're stable and we're on top of things and we're staying within budget, I'm good, but like anything can happen, as we all know. So I think we've got great vendors. I think everybody's alert and paying attention to what's going on there. And Roy, I'd like to hear from you if you have any input with regard to what's going on.
I just had one question. No, as far as the rains, no felled trees or anything that we've had in the past. We're okay with that?
Correct. Yeah, I think, Roy, I think we got those trees at the right time. Everybody knock on wood right now. I think the wellness center trees are all in good shape. We haven't seen anything over there. Our trees here seem to be stable. So
Your landscape contractor can take a look at the trees and make sure that they're being supported by the soil, because I had an issue on my front lawn with 3 melaleucas and one of them just went.
Yeah.
I had to have it topped and then braced and pulled up to the other two. But and with the ground being as moist as it is, there's a lot of tension.
yeah, it doesn't hurt for us to just ask him to do a once over. He usually is finding and looking
Yeah.
for things that we don't even ask for,
Yeah,
which has
because you
been,
don't want to have to deal with that when it happens. If you
right?
know.
No, Roy doesn't want to deal with that. When that happens at 2 o'clock in the rain.
Especially
And then just one other question, that was when we were talking about the remodeling, everything got put on hold. Where are we with that, and what is the next step, or what did we decide to do?
What we decided to do were the things that we've already reviewed here, that we are
Okay.
gonna start with things that are apparent and do not require the broader spectrum of expertise or funding. That's what we're doing.
Got it. Thank you.
And I have no further comments except to thank you
We're
for
getting
everything
more
that's
of
going on. And I know the agenda items will flow,
that.
not to play off the rain.
Right.
Anything else, Rachel?
Probably not. The only thing that may come up is as we move from some of the programming starting, like the diabetes program is about to start. Some of those things, as some of the potential partners at the center come online, as it moves from strategic planning, if there are facility needs related to that, we'll then flow it to this
Cool.
section.
We would appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the expected flow for it.
Right.
And is Pace still interested in our facility and moving forward with? that
Yes,
program?
again, they're working their own internal conversations to put together a proposal.
Excellent. Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
I'm hearing no further comments or agenda items. I'm adjourning this to 23.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Roy.
Bye-bye.
I see you both got your notebooks. I'm gonna go get mine.
Yeah, it's on Tracy's desk.
Thank you.